Yeah. So I'm starting off. Just wanna introduce myself a little bit. For the people that's not aware of who I am. My name is Zorian Johnson. You subscribe to my channel. You y'all work with me a little bit. I'm gonna have to edit it out and play with it a little bit. But I make sure y'all to like, post, comment, and share, subscribe, tune into my channel. These prison stories, some very powerful stories, man, real life. Um, just a little background on myself. I did 12 years in prison before my case was overturned under wrongful conviction. Um, I was convicted of possession of a firearm with the, work with me, I'm sorry about that. I was convicted felon with a firearm and possession of a stolen firearm. I was sentenced to 25 years. After 12 years and 7 months, I was able to overturn my conviction under a wrongful conviction. And I was freed under that act, and I've been home 3 years and 4 months. And just enjoying being free, man, just enjoying living my life. And I just decided to just come on, man, to just, tell some of these stories, man, just about real life, man, inside the prison and some of the things that I encountered in my walk inside of the prison system in the state of Louisiana. I encountered a guy while I was in David Wade Correctional Center. If my memory served me correctly, it was the year 2012. I met this guy. His name's Skinny. He from the Midwest. If I'm not mistaken, he from Ohio, Cincinnati, something like that. I'm not quite sure, but everybody called him Mid Dub because I'm from that dub. Skinny. Little description of him, he was a real light skinned dude, real skinny, man, skinny as a paperclip. Oh, and was all bark. Man, when I tell you Skinny, man, you'll never believe just hearing him in the cell block in maximum custody where we was housed at. Just hearing his voice and just hearing him go off, you will never in a million years believe that the voice belonged to the actual person that this was. And he just was real boisterous, man. He never shut up. And he did so much time in the cells, and actually a lot of us did. He did so much time in solitary confinement that it had to messed his wiring up a little bit. And he wasn't really quite right in the head, but he really didn't know it. So one of the side effects that being in that closed confinement like that had on him, it caused him to be extremely paranoid. So he really didn't tell people any of his personal business. He really didn't know anything he had going on. He didn't really care to, tell anybody anything that was going on in his personal life, which he wasn't wrong for at all. I can't knock him for that. So what he did was he was talking to classification one day, and they slipped and said something about Skinny was supposed to be going on within the next couple of weeks. So some kind of way to, he hadn't got some good time or just something. So he was going home. So Skinny started this rant about using the phone every day, trying to set stuff up, trying to find a way to get back to where he was from out of state. So he started going back and forth with the officers on the regular in that David Wade Correctional Center. If anybody familiar with the penal system in the state of Louisiana and they familiar with David Wade, they can pretty much tell you, that's a facility that's very heavy on killing people. The guards, they got like a free reign. If anybody does, decide to do the research on it and look at the history of David Wade, I'm pretty sure it's at the very top of the list in the state of Louisiana for people that done died in their custody next to Angola State Penitentiary. So Back to the story. Uh, so this guy Skinny, he started encountering the guards a lot, man, just going back and forth with the guards a lot about using the telephone, trying to get everything situated. And if anybody know anything about David Wade, they know that's really one of the things you really do not want to do is ruffle the guards' feather because they don't need much, provoking to come in, and there's no telling what the outcome may be. And so he started encountering the guards a lot about using the phone. So they kind of started going back and forth. So this one particular afternoon, I never forget. It was close to like 5:30. It was close to like shift change. It was in the evening time. So the guard was making his last rounds. They had to promise Skinny that they'll let him use the phone over and over and over, but they had never let him use the phone. So Skinny had him pretty much figured out that it was over with, that the guard was for to go home and they wasn't gonna let him use the phone. So please bear with me because these sinuses and this cold is just it's kicking my ass. But so Skinny encountered this guard, and when he encountered the guard, him and the guard started having an exchange about him not letting him use the phone as he said he would. So Skinny started a suicide rant, and he started going on a guard. I'm for to kill myself. I'm gonna make you stay and do paperwork because by him claiming himself as suicidal, that will make the guard have to take immediate action, get mental health on the phone, stop the whole process of shift changing out, and him going home, just document everything down on paper, time, place, unusual occurrence form like a UR report, unusual occurrence report. Just it was just a lot of stuff that would have to be done, and one of the things that also would have to be done is that Skinny would have to be stripped and placed in a paper gown. So the guards usually, if it's late in the evening like that, and they feel like a inmate playing games with them and trying to hold their process, they'll circumvent the actual protocol by not really acknowledging the suicide claim, and they'll just go home and ignore it. So and leave it for the oncoming shift to deal with. So Skinny started going on and on about killing himself. So the guard like, well, you gonna have to kill yourself, bro, because I'm gonna go home and ain't no phones. So they start this loud argument going back and forth. So Skinny said, I tell you what, the camera can see me. So I'm in the next cell. I can't actually see what's going on, but I live in a world where your ears is your eyes, where you have to listen, you have to see with your ears, you know. So I'm listening to it unfold. So Skinny jumped up and he grabbed his sheet and he tied his sheet around his neck, and he tied the other end of his sheet around the cell bars. So he telling the guard like, hey, I tell you what, you got to do something now. So the guard like, you want to play? You want to play? You sure that's what you want to do? You want to play with me? They must have told you that I ain't really the one that you really want to play with. So Skinny, they going back and forth. It's turning into this loud argument. People on the tier starting to get involved. People screaming and hollering. So Skinny going back and forth with the guard. I'm going to kill myself. I'm for the jump. I'm for the jump. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. He's screaming so loud, so I'm just listening. So as all the ruckus occurring on the tip, because it really don't take much. If you can get one or two incited, other people start, like conversation. And even if they're not a part of it, it still become a part of the ruckus, because you can have people talking from one cell to another and two cells from another. And then as they going off, they have to raise their voice to be heard in the conversation that they have in the next cell. So it's just turning it's almost a pandemonium. And so the guard like, man, I tell you what, Skinny, today is your day. And he turned around and he walked off, and I watched him walk off. So as I mind you, I told you this is a world where your ears is your eyes. So they got a panel box at the beginning of the tier. This is the control box. In order for this control box to be operated on maximum security at David Wade. There has to be 3 officers involved. There has to be a ranking officer that works the panel box, and there has to be 2 officers on the range that deals with 1 inmate. What they do is you got 1 officer that's assisting the other one as they handcuff shackle before the cell door. But this particular time, when the guard walked off, I heard the panel box open. So I'm like, I wonder what they finna do. So I heard the cell locks disengage. Everybody know, that means the cell door for the open. Most people become hyper alert if they hear that even in their sleep, because that could be a possible shakedown. It could be anything. So as the guard disengaged the door, I'm like, what the hell? I know they ain't finna just open the door on Skinny and he tripping like this already. But furthermore, for him to be not handcuffed to shackle before he stepped out into the range. So what the guard did was, when he disengaged the lock, I thought that he was just bluffing, because it's like a 3-step process, and you can hear the 3-step process. You got the door that lock, the key that lock. You got the door engaging or unengaging as he hit the level for the cell door that he wants to open, and then you got the actual spinning of the lock to open the cell. So I'm thinking that he just hit the engage just to, frighten Skinny or whatever. But when he hit the engage, he quickly hit the door, and he opened the door, and all you could hear was Skinny screaming, and then he kind of like, and he went quiet. So I'm trying to understand what's going on. I'm trying to process all this information in my head. I hear the door close back. I hear the cell engage. I hear the panel box close back. I'm like, man, what the hell going on in this motherfucker? So I'm laying here, and as I'm laying here, I'm like, I hear somebody holler, "Hey, yo, Skinny," but he ain't answering. So everybody hollering for him, and now he just done went cold silent in here. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on. I just can't figure it out for the life of me. I can't understand what's going on. So the guard closed the panel box and leave. He leave off the tier. So everybody screaming and hollering for Skinny. Everybody screaming and hollering. Skinny ain't answering nobody. So everybody like, man, Skinny be tripping, bro. He done let the man, put him in a bad mood. Now he don't want to talk to nobody, just so as time go on, everybody, like the children just like it's an eerie feeling on it. So everybody, kind of go back to doing what they doing, that was paying no mind. So the next shift come on. So as the next shift come on, the next guard come on to do his round. And when he got in front of the cell, he just, hey! He stopped and he just couldn't. I'm like, what the hell? Like, hey, Skinny. Man, get that off your neck, man. Get that off your neck, man. Like, man, what the fuck? He hit the beeper alert to sound the emergency crew to come running. So everybody come running. So the guard tell the dude, hey, I think he killed himself. So everybody like, what? Like, we try to all piece it together and put it together in our minds and our head to try to see, like the shock is there, and now the word is spreading between the officers and inmates. It's going around that Skinny done killed himself. He killed himself. But it's just a piece of this puzzle that just still not adding up. Now I know that the guards didn't go in and kill Skinny, because I watched him walk off the tier. I watched, like the whole encounter with him leaving. So I know that they ain't doing it. So I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, Skinny really went on and killed himself, like, for real. So I'm steady hollering at the emergency crew, get that. They trying to revive Skinny. They trying to They calling his name. I can't remember his real name. And so they calling him, they talking to him. So he's just not responding. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. That guard opened that door on Skinny. And when he opened the door slid, tangled the knot in the sheet immediately. Nothing in the world stops that door from opening and closing when it's time. When it open, it's opening. You better get all digits out the way, get everything out the way because it's opening with extreme force. And the crunch from the door opening, it tangled the knot that Skinny had tied into the bars, and it drew it tight around his neck. It snapped his neck on impact. The guard opened the door intentionally with Skinny. It's easy for me to say intentionally that that's what his intentions was. It's very easy for me to say. However, afterwards, listening to some of the stuff that he was saying and doing and bragging, afterwards. And it was traumatizing, man. They brought Skinny out the cell and he was laying at an awkward angle as they was taking him up the chill. And that's just the last thought that I have in my mind of Skinny. And it's unfortunate that there's so many stories like this that I was present for, like in my lifelong journey throughout the penal systems of the state of Louisiana. But that's just one of many, and it's a heartbreaking story because this guy, he just almost home, and it was just an unfortunate accident, and the guard walked away like it was nothing. They laugh and make jokes about it as if it, and then somebody's life is gone, it's over with, which could have very easily been mine or, one of the other people that I know. And it's just serious like that. So, yeah, that's just one of my little stories, man. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all subscribe to my channel. Hope y'all like, share, hey, we're going to be dropping stories. We're going to be dropping content on the regular. The quality going to be better. I'm going to get a better understanding of what I'm doing. But right now, I'm just giving my fans what they asking for. Hey, man, we'll be back with another.